Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Moser kit I just picked up for the Nova. Currently I'm taking it all apart, getting all the posi unit and the old axles out, but I kind of want to take time to show you guys the kit that I bought and show you guys the difference between the posi and the spool. But starting off with the axles, we got 35 spline axles, C-clip eliminators for safety, and then we got 1/2-inch studs of course on here, but I'll show you guys a better example of how much bigger these axles are in comparison to the stock ones I have over there. Way bigger, way more beefy, way better at taking the power as compared to the stock ones. But that's definitely going to be helpful once we start turning the car up higher, because once we start turning it up, the stock axles, which I'll show you guys now, will definitely not be able to take up to that kind of load. And of course that top piece up there is for the C-clip, and you can kind of see just how much thinner these are. These don't have any C-clip eliminator, nothing like that. They're basically held into the posi with these C-clips. So if this breaks, the axle won't completely fly out, but your axle will start wiggling around and moving its way out. Now, what else we got with the car is we did get a new gear ratio. We went with a 411 instead of a 456. We're gonna see what it does. Right now the Nova is running about a 650 in the 8th. We're gonna look and see what the 411 does. Hopefully pick up a couple, maybe a mile an hour or two, and possibly maybe a pound of boost more. What I've been reading is that the lower the gear ratio, the more load you're gonna put under the Pro Charger, which will in turn give you about a pound or two more. We also got a spool. Nice and shiny, of course. We want the steel spool instead of the aluminum. Basically what I was told is that the aluminum is more for racing, since I do drive my car around the car shows and everything like that. The aluminum one's more prone to just breaking apart as you go. It's basically just strict race car. Spool, this one, it's more forgiving, just a little bit. You'll still trip the tires, still stuff like that if you turn too sharply, but still better than nothing right now. As well as we got a gasket kit and a bearing kit. This comes with all the bearings and crushed collars and everything you need to assemble basically everything for the axles. But going back to my posi unit over here, the old girl I pulled out, one of these teeth I messed up. You can see there. So that one's been broken for God knows how long actually. Finally when I took this thing out, went through it all, I actually ended up finding the piece and it was behind the pinion. So yeah, I found that. But this one's, it's gone basically. I had so much play in between. Basically I could take the tire and rotate it almost 50% or almost 75% all the way around full rotation before it would actually start engaging really the posi. So I had a lot of slop in this, and that could be shimming, that could just be wear and tear, but it got to the point where it was time to just replace it, especially with the route that we're going with the Nova now. And same with the axles. Axles were just needed to be upgraded for safety as well as just being stronger as well. The pinion looked pretty good. A little bit of pain he has to get out, won't lie to you guys. I was beating the fuck out of it, but it looks pretty good. I got a new nut for it too, so that's gonna be nice. But the difference between a posi and a spool, of course, is how it basically engages the tires. Now for a posi, you got your clutch plates in here, which will basically spread apart and basically engage whichever side tire. Your main gear is gonna be coming in here. You start building your power, you go, clutches engage, other tire starts spinning, and then you're basically good to go. You got both tires spinning. Whereas a spool skips that clutch part. So if you want to think of it as just this part of it, there's no clutches, there's no nothing. It's just straight axle in, and gear ratio in the center. So this basically puts it to, if you want to think of it one-to-one, both tires are going to spin at exactly the same time as soon as you give it gas. Bad side with this thing, of course, is turning. You're gonna trip the tires a lot more. I can't turn any bit sharper than you would with the posi, since this will disengage power and re-engage where you need it. But this is a lot stronger. This is a lot more race car than what this thing would be. Of course, this thing's perfect if you're starting and you need one, basically, instead of a limited slip. But later on, these are definitely, if you're gonna be more competitive, this is where you need to go. Drop her back off. And show you guys the axles. I already showed you guys it like 3 times, but just the size of these axles in comparison. I'll drop this guy here. And will I put my new axle on the ground? Yes, I will. Now these axles probably weigh like, they gotta be like 10 or 20 pounds more. But you can just see the size comparison of these two. Definitely a lot more beefy. And definitely a lot more shiny, look at that. But that is the updated with the Nova. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a short little update on it. But we're definitely gonna be getting her back together shortly. I still gotta pull that side off, but we'll be good to go. And once we get it back up, we'll definitely get her back to the track and we'll have more videos of her racing. On a side note, we did blow the motor in this car. We actually just dropped the motor off at the machine shop. We spun 2 rod bearings, 2 main bearings, and 3 cam bearings. So you're probably wondering how that happens. Well, it happens with race cars. We actually ran out of oil. Gauge went to 0 and everything just went to hell in a handbasket. But we'll get it all back together. That car will be definitely better with the new motor in it, but that would just be a waiting time. I'll have another video about that later on. But take it easy, we'll be back.